Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into this incredible story, a real high-stakes chase where a heroic rescue mission, well, it turns into a deadly trap. It's a classic that makes you ask a tough question. What happens when your greatest win becomes your biggest mistake? So, our story kicks off with this hero on the run, a guy named David. He gets word that a nearby city, Keilah, is under attack by enemy forces. Now, his first instinct, of course, is to rush in and play the hero. But this immediately raises a huge question. What happens when saving others puts you right in the path of the one person who wants you dead?
You'd think his guys would be with him, right? Nope. David's own men are terrified. They're basically telling him, look, we're already scared just hiding out here in Judah. You want us to go pick a fight with the Philistines? Are you crazy? They see it as a total suicide mission. But David, he's convinced it's the right thing to do, so he overrules them and decides to attack anyway. So, ignoring all those warnings, he leads his men into battle. And you know what? He pulls it off. He crushes the Philistines, deals them heavy losses, and saves the people of Keilah. It is a stunning, decisive victory against all odds. On the surface, it looks like a moment of pure triumph. But here is where the whole thing just completely flips on its head. The man hunting David, King Saul, hears about this amazing victory. And he doesn't see a hero. He sees a guy who just walked right into a perfect trap. David hasn't just won a battle. He's trapped himself inside a city with walls and gates. And you gotta hear Saul's reaction. It's wild. He immediately thinks this is a gift from God. Not a gift for David, mind you, but a gift for him. He's absolutely convinced God has just served up his number one enemy on a silver platter. And with that thought, he calls up his entire army to go and besiege Keilah. And just like that, what started as a heroic rescue mission is now a desperate fight for survival. David and his 600 men are now the ones who need saving. They're cornered inside the very city they just liberated, and the king's army is on its way. David realizes pretty quickly the massive mistake he's made, so he switches gears. He goes from being a warrior to being an intelligence chief. This is no longer about fighting, it's about information. He has to figure out the details of this trap before it snaps shut. He goes to his priest, Abiathar, and asks two simple but absolutely critical questions. First, is the threat real? Is Saul actually coming? And second, and this is the really chilling one, can he trust the people inside the city with him? The people he just saved. Will they have his back? So the intel comes back and wow, it is the worst possible news. Yes, Saul is on his way. And yes, the people David just risked everything for are completely ready to hand him over to be killed. His heroism bought him absolutely nothing. In fact, it bought him betrayal. There is no time to sit around feeling betrayed. The king's army is getting closer, and the city's about to turn on him. David and his men have only one move left: run. They slip out of Keilah and escape into the wilderness, becoming fugitives all over again. And you can just feel the pressure mounting, right? He is constantly on the move, a man with no home, literally jumping from one hiding spot to the next. The desert strongholds of Ziph, the forests of Horesh, the desert of Maon, and every step of the way, Saul's forces are right behind him. But in the middle of all this running and fear, there's this one brief, shining moment of hope. He gets a secret visit from his best friend, Jonathan, who just so happens to be King Saul's son. Jonathan tells him, don't be afraid, you're going to be king, and really strengthens his resolve to keep going. But that glimmer of hope, it doesn't last long. Just as one friend confirms his loyalty, another group betrays him. The people of Ziph, who are from David's own tribe, go straight to Saul and offer to sell him out. And just look at how Saul handles this. It's so manipulative. He uses this religious language, "The Lord bless you for your concern for me," and basically turns them into his own personal spy network. He tells them to go map out every single one of David's hiding places. The net is getting tighter and tighter. Well, all that spy work pays off for Saul. The whole chase comes to a head in the desert of Maon. It's this rocky, empty place, and there is nowhere left for David to run. The trap is finally ready to spring. I mean, the scene is just so intense. You have Saul's army on one side of a mountain and David's little group on the other side, just scrambling to get away. They can literally see each other. It's that close.
Saul's men are splitting up. They're surrounding the mountain. It's over. There are no more moves to make, no more places to hide. Capture is just moments away. This is really the end of the line.
And then, at the absolute last possible second, a messenger comes tearing into Saul's camp. And the news is urgent. The Philistines are attacking Israel. In this moment of incredible irony, the very same enemy that David fought back in Keilah, they've just become his accidental saviors. Saul has to make this impossible choice. Does he finally grab the rival he is obsessed with destroying? Or does he do his job as king and defend his country? He reluctantly chooses his kingdom and calls off the chase.
And David escapes. The spot where this unbelievable near miss happened is even given a special name to remember it, Selah Hamala Koth, which means the rock of parting or the rock of escape. It becomes a landmark to this moment of impossible luck. So this leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? What really saved David here? Was it just a one-in-a-million coincidence? Was it some kind of long-game consequence of his risky choice back in Keilah? Or was it, like both David and Saul believed, something else entirely? Divine intervention? It really makes you rethink that first question. Can a heroic act be a terrible mistake? Or can it sometimes, against all logic, lead you to the one escape route you never saw coming? Definitely something to think about.